Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now let us continue with target costing, the fourth method to set the price. Under the target costing, the market research actually will determine the price at which a new product will sell. There will be market analysts, and then the information will be fed to the management to then compute the manufacturing cost that would actually fit with the price that is set in the market, so that the manufacturing cost that they computed will provide an acceptable profit margin. Okay. And then engineers and cost analysts will design a product that can be made for the allowable cost. So it's like we are starting off with the selling price, and then we minus the profit margin, and then we get to the targeted cost. These targeted costs would be provided to the engineers so that they will design the product that would meet the targeted profit. For the target costing to be applied, there are several key principles. It's known as price-led costing because we are starting off with the price instead of with the cost, because we get the market price first, and then we computed the expected profit, and then we have the targeted cost. So that's why it is known as price-led costing. And it's a cross-functional teams rather than just focusing on the cost provided by the management accountant or the production people. It is a cross-functional teams including the marketing division, the research and development, the production, the purchasing department, all involved in the target costing. It also has this value chain orientation. Yeah, starting off with the design, and then getting the supplier, getting the product, raw materials, and then the focus is on product design. The focus of the target costing will be on the product design because it will actually affect the targeted cost. They must design the products such that it will meet the targeted cost. And since it is the market price that the company is focusing on, it is also always the customer that being their main concern, because they cannot be producing product that the customers are not willing to pay for the price. Besides product design, it is also always at the focus on process design. Yeah, now for cost reduction. Cost reduction initiative is especially important for target costing. And lastly is the life cycle cost. It is always important for target costing. Now, the relationship of target costing and value engineering. Because we know that the product design, the product cost, and production processes are important in the target costing. So there is this value engineering which could actually assist the organization that use target costing, because by having this value engineering, they can have the cost reduction initiative, to actually improve on the product cost and ensure that it will meet the targeted cost. They also can improve on the design so that any unnecessary design which are not accepted by customers will now be eliminated, as well as on the process improvement, because by only having the value adding activities or value adding process, it will actually improve the value of the product and reducing the cost of the product. The fifth method to set the price is time and material pricing. Okay, now let's look at the component of the time and material pricing. Price is actually the sum of labor and material charges. Many times, this method is used by construction companies, printers, and professional service firms. The time charges is a component of hourly labor cost, overhead cost per labor hour, hourly charge to provide profit margin, and then that's multiplied with the total labor hours required. And the component of material charges will be the total material cost incurred, and the part of the overhead per dollar of material cost multiplied with the total material cost incurred. Let's have this illustration. I have this also shared in the Google Classroom. For the time and material pricing, the illustration is regarding this repair department of the company Yash division, and this information on labor rate including fringe benefits $18 per hour, and they have hourly charge to cover profit margin of $7 per hour, and annual labor hours are 10,000 hours with the annual overhead costs for material handling and storage of $40,000. Other overhead costs, which are for supervision, for utilities, for insurance and depreciation, accounts for $200,000. And annual cost of materials used in repair department is $1 million. So we are going to use this information to illustrate a special job undertaken by Sydney Sailing Supplies. So this Richard Mobby, which was the vice president for sales, was approached by a successful local physician to refurbish her yacht. So she wanted an engine overhaul. So there is this refurbishment and redecoration of the cabin facilities. There's this stripping as well as repainting activities taken place. So based on this data, the repair department computed its time and material prices as follows. So we have the hourly labor cost of $18 per hour. We included the overhead part. So we have the annual overhead, and this annual overhead should exclude the material handling and storage, because material handling and storage is for the materials. So this is the $200,000 divided by annual labor hours of 10,000 hours, and plus hourly charge to cover profit margin of $7. So the time charges will be $45 per labor hour, meaning any work done by the labor, it will be charged at $45. Now let's look at the material charges. Material charges, we have the material cost incurred on the job plus, put in bracket, material cost incurred on job multiply with material handling and storage cost. In this is the $40,000 and divided by annual cost of materials used in repair department, which is the 1 million. So we know that it's 0.04 per dollar of material cost multiply with material cost incurred on the job, and that's a part of the overhead, and this is the part on the material cost incurred on job. Richard Mobby estimates that the yacht refurbishment job will actually require 200 hours of labor and 8,000 in materials. So now let's look at the computation in the exhibit 15.7. Okay, the time charges. The labor time is $200 with the rate of $45 per hour. So we have 9,000. That's for the time charges. Material charges. For the cost of materials for the job, $8,000 with the charge for material handling and storage. Okay, so material handling and storage, the 320 is actually the result of the 0.04 per dollar of material cost multiplied with the material cost incurred, which is 8,000. So this is the overhead element. So we have the 8,000 plus 320. So we have the 8,320. Adding the two, 9,000, and the material charges. So we have the 17,320. So we see that the 17,320, the price quotation for the yacht refurbishment are charges for labor costs, overhead, material costs, motor handling and storage costs, and also a normal profit margin. And sometimes companies do actually charge an additional markup on the materials used to have the profit. But in this particular illustration, they do not add in the profit charge on top of the cost incurred and on top of the overhead. The last one will be the strategic pricing. Sometimes it is not just purely on the cost that the organization rely on when they set the price. Okay, so the strategic price of new products is actually relying on the production cost and also on the market acceptance, because these are difficult to be determined. So companies can actually adopt skimming strategy or market penetration strategy. When an organization finds it difficult to be certain on the market acceptance and also on the production cost, if they adopt a skimming strategy, it means that they will actually set the initial price high so that they are able to get good profit during the introduction period, but then slowly they are going to reduce the price to appeal to a broader market. This normally happen for the gadgets, like handphone. They normally go for a skimming where they introduce a price at a quite high because they know that a new product launch will have a higher market acceptance by the customer. And second one is the market penetrations. When the product is too new for the market and they know that it's a very intense competition, so they may actually need to set the price low so that they can have a good market share. Yeah? If they set a high price, their product might not be accepted by the market. And another one is on the competitive bidding. When they submit a tender, they can set it high, but there will be a low probability of winning the bid. When this happens, they actually have a high profit if they do actually win the bid. Very high rates when they set high bid price because lower chances of winning the bid. But if they tender a low bid price, it will result to a low profit if after all they win the bid. But the thing is that when they set a low bid price, there is a high probability of winning the bid. So it depends on their whether they are risk takers or they are risk averse. Maybe if they have good project, so they may want to set a high bid price. Yeah, although they have a low probability of winning, but because it's a good project, maybe they will have once they actually secure the project, then they can have a very high profit because it is due to their specialty. The guidelines for bidding is that this: if the bidder has excess capacity, they should actually offer low bid price, because any bid price in excess of incremental costs will contribute to fixed cost and profit. But when bidder has no excess capacity, then they are not recommended to have a low bid price. They are recommended to have a high bid price, because the bid price should be full cost plus normal profit, because winning the bid will actually displace the existing work.